Right. Mike, welcome to the show, man. I'm glad we were able to get you on, and let's talk about Ohio State Senate District 27. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Tell us a little bit about you in running for this seat. Let's pass the baton to you.
Well, great, Richard. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to share about State Senate District 27. It is a beautiful area. I should give people an idea where it's at. It's in northeast Ohio between Cleveland and Akron, and it's actually projected to be one of the most competitive State Senate districts in 2026. So this is an important, race. State Senate District 27 includes all of Portage County and portions of Geauga and Summit counties. And the reason why I bring that up is because I'm really deeply rooted in the area, and I hope we can talk about Senate District 27 a little bit more. But just to talk a little bit about myself, I was, born and raised in the center of Portage County there in Ravenna. It's a county seat, and I'm a proud product of the public schools there. Went through their K-12. Like Kurt, I am a Kent State graduate. I got all of my degrees from Kent State. Graduated with a comprehensive science degree in biology and chemistry, where I went on to teach 34 years in education as a teacher, a coach, and a school administrator. I had 15 years as a biology teacher and chemistry teacher, and then the remaining part of that time I was a school administrator, the last 5 as superintendent of the Aurora City Schools. So, like I said, deeply rooted in the area, and really, Senate District 27 is close to my heart.
Well, one of the things that is critically important right now, and you guys may have heard me say this earlier, and if you haven't, I'll say it again, but winning state elections is one of the best tools that we have in our toolkit to stave off some of the things that are happening on a federal level. Ms. Gravalia just won out in Arizona, and you're running in Ohio. We've got other people that we've been plugged into that are running in Ohio and in other states. When we win state elections, it changes so much because the way in which, just as an example, what's happening down in Texas wasn't initiated, as I said earlier, by the state, by the U.S. representatives in the state of Texas or the state senate of the U.S. senators in the state of Texas. It came from the state legislatures in terms of the redistricting conversation. And so having someone like you, Mike, be running for a Senate seat and winning is so important in changing the arc of what's delivered in the state of Ohio, whether it be on the economy, whether it be on health care or any of the environment, which I know are all big issues to you. So talk a little bit about why you see it's so important that there in Ohio and the rest of the country, we start winning back some state seats.
Well, I appreciate it because really what's happening, in my opinion, is that we have people serving in Columbus, here in Ohio, that are focused on kind of falling in line rather than standing up for the people of their particular district. And so to talk about, again, District 27, it is a microcosm of Ohio. I mean, we have the east side of the county is farms in Portage County, and then on the west side, it's more populated, and you have cities in suburbs of Summit County, and then right in the middle is Kent State University, a college town, so Kent there, and we need people advocating for their particular districts. Portage County, as an example, is one of only 3 counties out of the 88 in Ohio that support a bigger university, Kent State, a smaller college in the form of Hiram, and then medical and dental school in form of the NeoMed, the Northeast Ohio Medical University. And so it is important to have people who are, again, rooted in these areas so they can be advocates for certain issues. And for us, things like, especially when we have a lot of educational services like the universities, education is going to be a big one in Portage County, as well as economics, which is all across not only Senate District 27, but all of Ohio and the country.
So let's talk about the mix on the House side and on the Senate side. What are the numbers now, Republican and Democrat in the state?
Well, on the Senate side, there are a supermajority. There are 23 senators that are Republican and 9 that are 24, I'm sorry, Republican and 9 that are Democrats. So this is one of the important pieces of getting more Democrats down in the Senate to get that supermajority off, so there's opportunities to have more conversations, because right now the Republicans are kind of running things through. For example, on the educational side of things, there's a big push for universal school vouchers, which is hurting public
yeah, I mean, they're gutting. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mike, but they're gutting funding for schools, for public schools, not just in your district, but throughout the state of Ohio. I mean, it's not talked about a lot, but it's one of the worst in the nation. And I'm not blaming you and Kurt. I mean, you guys are putting a spotlight on it, but talk about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I did get into this race, because what I have seen over the last 20 or so years is that erosion of support for public education in Ohio. I mean, I'm not sure how many people realize that Ohio's funding of public school children's education was first ruled unconstitutional way back from the state constitution way back in 1997, because it placed too heavy of a burden on local residents. At that time, Ohio ranked 35th out of 50 states, so in the bottom half for providing support to public school kids. And Ohio at that time provided 45% of a school's revenue on average. It came from the state. Today, Ohio is ranked 45th. Thanks to providing an average of only 38% of support to public schools. And so, we're headed in the wrong direction. In fact, in 2027, it's projected to be only 32%. So that erosion of support for schools is damaging for public schools. And at the same time, universal vouchers are putting literally over $1 billion of public school funding towards private education.
That's insane. You're listening to Choose Views on WCPT AM 820 in Chicago, WARR 1520 AM and 103.5 FM from Warren County, North Carolina. I'm Richard Chu, and our guests this morning are our good friend Kurt Herner from Akron, Ohio, and a Kent Stater to the max, and Mike Roberto, who is running for the state Senate seat in Ohio's State Senate District 27. Mike, let me ask you this question as it relates to the Democratic Party in Ohio. Where is the strength? What do citizens in the state of Ohio see and think of the Democratic Party on the state level, and then again, of course, in Portage County?
I think it's an opportunity for an alternative to what we have going on. In particular, as I mentioned, economic concerns are going to be an area that it concerns everyone across the political spectrum. So Democrats can bring in a different voice to that conversation. In particular, things like property taxes are something that everybody is struggling with. And in fact, in Ohio, there's a current push, and we hope we don't get there, of eliminating property taxes because through a vote, they're trying to get it on the ballot for 2026. And if that were to happen, that's about 29% of the state revenue comes from property taxes in Ohio. So that would be devastating. So I think Democrats can provide a advocacy and an alternative voice in Columbus from what we currently have.
So let's talk about some economic issues for a second. I mean, Ohio, for as long as I can remember, has always had been a state that represented a certain amount of things that were part of kind of that, I guess we could say the assumption of America was diversity, really 4 big cities, if you will, that represented opportunity for American workers. I mean, it represented so many things. And I used to say this about Ohio because my brother-in-law's from Massillon, or went to Massillon, is from the Canton area. To remember thinking way back in the late 60s and early 70s, Ohio was a cool place because it had so many cool things happening with the sports, with the businesses that were there, the people that came from there, and the list goes on and on. And I'll be I'm not being critical. I'm just like, it kind of pains me to think about how Ohio has slid from that sort of that luster that it had. And it seems as though it started with the economics of the state changing so dramatically with regard to the automotive industry and the other industries that are part of that. What's your take on that, Mike?
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with you. I mean, Ohio used to be one of those, purple states where, and I think all of our advocates down in Columbus understood that, and so they opened their ears more so and advocated for what was best for their particular district. So when we look at taxes in particular, I mentioned property taxes, but income tax I think is another thing that's kind of changing, and it's not making it user friendly to the workers in Ohio. Income taxes in Ohio now we're dropping to a flat rate of 2.75%, where we're eliminating a top bracket of over $100,000 or more, which means that there's going to be $1 billion less dollars, estimated anyway, coming back into the state. So this adds to a concerning pattern that you alluded to since the late 20th century there, the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and then continuing on to the 21st century here, where Ohio's taxes for businesses have sort of shifted onto the backs of the residents more so. Mm-hmm. And so the workers in Ohio are really suffering. And I think that's kind of demonstrated in terms of things like loss of jobs as well as, population loss in Ohio.
Are you I don't want to ask a closed-ended question, but what are your thoughts about the Democratic structural leadership in Ohio in terms of, what the DNC on a national level and what the state Democratic leaders are, not the elected officials, but the ones that, quote, run the corporation of Democrats? Is there, and Kurt and I talk about this a lot, is there enough funding? Does there need to be more funding? I know that we've got some big national names with Sherrod Brown as part of it and Ms. Sykes. What structurally do you think needs to change there?
Well, I do think there's room for improvement all around. We always have room to improve in that sense. And to be honest, I don't think we're ever going to outrace the Republicans. But what we need to do is get enough support and structures in place so that we can get the message out there of what we're trying to do. And what we're trying to do is, watch out for the common person, the workers. We're trying to promote this idea of public education, affordable housing, and reduction of property taxes, and provide opportunities for growth in Ohio. And I'll give you a quick example. In my opinion, Mike DeWine, Governor DeWine, came out and was explaining that, universities need to recruit better. Yet what's happening is in Ohio is with something like a Senate Bill 1, that was passed that is basically limiting universities and hurting universities. The state legislators actually undermine opportunities for young people to come and stay in Ohio so we can grow that economy. So that's something that I think the Democrats can do better is talk about those alternatives and how the state can grow in terms of both economically and bringing people into the state more.
Yeah, particularly with the universities that Ohio has been known for decades, being one of the great states to go to get a great education, and that's one of the things that I've always thought about or think about when it comes to Ohio. As we wrap up, let me ask you maybe an environment question. As someone that's running for state office, and you look at all the things that are going on in the state, having been known for a long time as an industrial state because of employment, where a lot of the employment was for decades, where does the state sit now, in your observation, as a green or green-esque state, and what are some of the things that you want to do or see the state do when it comes to improving the environment that is the state of Ohio?
Sure. Yeah, well, and this is where Senate District 27, this is what's so cool about Senate District 27, because it has all kinds of green spaces in it to promote this environmental aspect. I mean, there are 25,000 acres of parks in that Tri-County area, and between our county and state, there's actually over 50 parks, and we host the only national park in Ohio in terms of the Cuyahoga Valley. So taking advantage of that in combination of the over 2,000 farms of various sizes and function in the district is what we need to do and try to promote, and coming up with ways to support them from Columbus. I'll give you a quick example in Kent, and this is actually a Kent State example in particular. They recently constructed over 2 sections of land. I think it's close to 23 acres. It's like over 13,000 solar panels that produce about 10% of the university's main campus university's electricity in there. And the city of Kent is also committed to, solar through the creation of like a climate action plan that they have in place. So they hired a sustainability coordinator to help implement the plan, and they're currently looking to themselves at I believe it's a 15-acre brownfield area that they're trying to potentially put solar panels on for electricity for the city as well. So some of those innovative ideas where you take advantage of the natural resources like the Cuyahoga River here that flows all throughout the district, in combination with, like I said, those ideas of something like the solar issues that Kent State have going on, are things that we can improve on.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Kurt, just one simple thing I want to run through you real quickly. What do you want to see for Mike and his campaign, and what are some of the opportunities that you see that are there for him?
Well, I'll tell you, I will not be able to vote for Mike Roberto because I am actually not in his district. I'm actually in Casey Weinstein's district, which is 27. But aside from the obvious, I want him to win. To get that majority, up or get the seats up. But, I just want him to be able to go and speak to maybe the three legs of the people that don't necessarily get involved, the disenfranchised Democrats that somewhat left the party or don't believe in the party anymore because they feel they've lost their way. I want the independents to be talked to, and I want the normal Republicans, not the MAGA Republicans, but the normal Republicans who may have voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris behind closed doors, but, still want to be considered Eisenhower or whatever Republicans. I want Mike Roberto to connect with those people. I want him to be able to talk their language and go out into the district and say, I hear you, I understand you, and this is what I hope to do for you, but I need to know what you want from me in order to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that we as Democrats do know that we've got to do a better job of. And, the opportunity for you, Mike, to be able to take what Kurt said and really expand that is huge, because we know we have better ideas across the board, whether it be our federal folks, whether it be our state folks, our local people. Our ideas are better for a larger swath of people.
And if I can say something, Richard, remember, Mike, John Barber, frequent guest on Choose Views, whom Richard and I have spoken with a few times, he only lost to Bruce Turkowski by 1.4% in the last election. And had 3,000 Portage County voters gone out and voted for him, he could have been sheriff of Portage County today. So I want to see you try and reach to that 1.4% that, John Barber was
not able to get. Yeah. I mean,
not able to get. And yeah, go ahead.
But that's kind of the national thought, though, for all of us, is getting more folks in that, whether it be on a state level or on a national level, in the mix, voting, participating, all the above, so that we can make sure that our ideas are stronger. We got to wrap up, guys, and I know you both know that. But let's make this the right thing as we break away. Mike, how can folks find you? How can they follow you? How can they get involved?
Well, thank you, Richard. Yeah, if someone would like to find out more about our campaign, they can go to our website. It's at www.roberto4ohio. That's the number 4.com. And we have all of our information talking from economics to education to the environmental pieces in there. And there's also opportunities to, if they're in the area, to volunteer or to donate.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kurt Herner from Akron, Ohio, Mr. Kent State, for helping us get Mike on. And thanks for your comments. Mike, thanks for being with us this morning. Both of you guys stay safe. We got to hit this break, but we appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye now. Okay, let's take this quick break.